Hi, this is Arutunyan.
And this is Natalia Antonova.
We're back.
We're the ladies in Putin's Russia.
And we're back.
We're
yeah.
back.
You were going to ask me something.
I was going to ask, I haven't seen you in a while, so I don't really know what you think about the Pussy Riot verdict, and I thought I'd ask you.
Everyone knows what I think about it. I think it's legal nihilism at its finest. I also think that, as much as I criticize the criminal justice system of the Russian Federation, every once in a while I take a fond look across the ocean at my country.
It's my country, too.
Her country.
Our country.
Be possessive about it. Fine.
It's mine.
It's ours. And I look at. I take a fond look at what's happening across the pond, especially in relation to the Occupy Wall Street movement. Now, I'm just going to quote a piece of the headline and the subhead of an article that my friend Sarah wrote for Alternate. That's the beautiful Sarah Jaffe, by the way. You can follow her on Twitter if you want. This is the headline. The chief of police stepped on me, and then he charged me with rioting. 15 Occupy Homes Minnesota organizers face up to 2 years in jail for peacefully linking arms outside a house when the police came to enforce a foreclosure. Now, the foreclosure in question is really, really sketcy, as a matter of fact, because apparently what happened is that this bank with this family of Mexican origin or Mexican roots, I believe, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, they failed to apply an online payment from the family and said, you now owe us 2 months worth of payments in 1 month. Family could not come up with the money. The bank says, hey, we'll work with you, but in fact what they did is that actually they were preparing an eviction notice even as they were trying to work with this family. And this is actually a common process right now in the United States. It's called dual tracking. When the bank pretends as though it's going to work out a solution with regard to a mistake on your payment or something like that, even as it's preparing to evict you from your house, you can get its dirty little paws on your house. That is really scary, and the fact that the police are getting involved and stepping on people, then arresting them. One of the protesters at this Occupy Homes Minnesota, I guess you can call it an event, she actually reported that one of the police groped her breast. And that all is
very
just
Russian.
Well, I don't know. It's very American because right now what we're having in America is that we have half of the population, maybe not less than half, more than half, I don't know, but a very large amount of people are actually saying, no, it's totally cool. Let's evict people from their homes. Let's pursue student debtors. Let's just, otherwise we'll run our economy into the ground. Wall Street knows what it's doing. We'll all be fine as long as we trust in Wall Street.
I think what's happening here on a parallel level, and this is what made me say Russia, even though this is not a Russian phenomenon, it's the forces of feudalism at work. And when they're at work, somebody wants to come in and maintain law and order. The more this force of feudalism spreads, the more you want to keep it at bay, and the more you basically fuel authoritarian tactics.
But the difference,
something very similar has been happening in Russia for centuries.
The difference is that, I think, once again, I'm going to have to bring it back to World War II. Russia suffered catastrophic losses in World War II, and then before that it had the terror. America did not go through the same horrors in the 20th century, and I believe that American society does not have the post-traumatic stress disorder that Russian society is suffering from.
Exactly.
Which is why the legal system in Russia, just as scary in the United States, but also kind of almost irrational. It's irrational in an entertaining way, or it would be entertaining if it wasn't so profoundly scary. Now, you want to talk about a case that the other, on our side of the ocean...
The other Pussy Riot that people aren't really talking about in the West, at least not yet, and that's very sad because this is a lot scarier. Just today, an opposition activist called Taisia Osipova was handed down an 8-year hard labor term, hard time. It was no, it's not hard. For drugs. Now, she insisted drugs were planted, knowing I was not there. I cannot certify this, that I cannot verify that she did not actually have drugs in her home, but based on other cases like this, I tend to believe what she says, that those drugs were planted by police who wanted to get her. This was the anti-extremism department of the Interior Ministry.
And they're known for
these kind of
harassing
tactics.
people. At the very least, they're known for harassing people, trying to act very intimidating towards people. And on the other hand, you also have the issue of rubber stamping cases, where police, to improve their statistics in crime fighting, will just kind of rush these cases through with complacent judges saying, oh, well, this person sold drugs, 10-year sentence.
And maybe somebody somewhere needs to show an example to other oppositionists, other activists who are, just going a little bit too far. And why is this scary? Now, this is 8 years. This is really scary, given the chaos in Russia's judicial system, for one, and also given Russia's history, which we just mentioned. Sometimes when these things, if something like this happened, say, in the United States, maybe we wouldn't freak out so much, precisely because there isn't that pull of history, there isn't that post-traumatic stress disorder where you know where these things can go.
Well, or that they're potentially, coming after you,
Where
I
it's
guess.
history as farce, and you know that the line between when this farce turns into the real thing, when are we going to cross that? Are we going to cross that? Can we keep ourselves from crossing that line? That's very scary.
I think the thing is that what's not so scary is the fact that the Russian legal system, because it's not so nearly entrenched, it doesn't have nearly as much credibility as the American system does.
Yeah, that's true.
We might actually be more optimistic. I'm more optimistic about the Russian legal system than I am about the American one. I think an enormous political will is needed to reform the criminal justice system in America. I think that will has to be greater than the one in Russia, and that's what concerns me and troubles me.
I think in Russia's case, there's a lot of room, there's just more room for improvement. Let's just put it like that. In America, it really is entrenched. There is more institutionalized rule of law, and it's in that sense, some really bad things might have to happen in order for people to realize that they have to start changing things.
Okay, and on that note, it's been great to be with you once again. Enjoy thinking about the legal systems all over the world and how they impact people.
And how everything is just so messed up, and we can't really tell you anything happy today.
Sleep tightly tonight.
Sleep tight.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.